Hello and welcome back to Bricking It. So I did mention in my last video that I was having thoughts about reconfiguring my Hogwarts MOC display, and I think largely having put the thoughts into words, I pretty much decided that that's what I was going to do. So I've done it. Let's take a look. So today I tore the castle down to its base and basically rebuilt it from the bottom up. The dungeons are largely the same, although the properly coloured bricks now go back 2 modules. I did this doorway into herbology. Up on the first floor, I added some more of these breakaway walls, just so I could do the classroom walls that had some detail on the side. Actually put one on each of the modules, so we get a couple of breakaway walls on the first floor. Not a lot changed here. So we've got a double height space for divination, then arithmancy, and of course astronomy class. I think I've come up with a way of sorting out Ravenclaw. I'll go into a bit more detail later, but you can sort of see the idea that I'm going with. I change what is where on various floors. The statue has changed position, and looking at them, I thought these 4 probably looked a bit like the founders, so although I've had to replace a beard, might be displaying those as the founders. Got another breakaway wall here as before, so that we can do defense against the dark arts. Then up at the top of the castle we're going to have the double height module for the room of requirements, and everything on the Great Hall side remain the same. It's not the only bit of building I've done today. Today I built my new Great Hall set. Quite nice. Fun enough build. Looks strangely under scale though. But there are a few bits that I need. So I think I'm going to break it up for parts. We're looking at Dumbledore's office today. I mentioned a few ideas for different ways I could display it. And I think this is what I'm going to do. Now this is just a mock-up at the moment. Everything's not fully stabilised and attached. As you can see, it's just sort of on this platform at the side of the castle. So I wanted it to look a bit like Dumbledore's office, hanging off the main stairway tower in the movies. So I've got it fully supported by these Technic panels, integrate into the back wall and into the side wall. Lots and lots of pins, but still a bit of flex, so I've had to put a couple of transclear cylinders underneath just to hold it up. I've got this arch piece in front. I'm thinking about making it decorative so you don't see that Technic. It looks a bit more integrated into the castle. And I did it. I've raised it up a bit as well. I used one of the larger arches. So let's have a little look at what we've done. You can see it still slants just a little bit. But I don't know how much of that is down to the slightly inadequate supports that I've got at the moment, but it's up there. It does what it wants to do. It's a little hard. You can see we've now on 3 round cylinders and a plate to hold that, and it holds it fairly level. It's not quite as wonky as it looked before. I'm just going to leave it on here to see how much flex we're going to get, and see if over the course of the day it really does tow away from the side of the build. I quite like it. It's quite good. I just wanted to see if it could support without those cylinders in, and it really doesn't. You can see there's a distinct angle there. It's putting a lot of stress on the Technic pins supporting it, and that's going to stress the structure of the side wall, which is why I needed to put that plate across the top just to integrate it with the next wall across. I do have a bit of bowing. I might have to try and come up with another way of stabilising this, but this is kind of the look that I definitely want for Dumbledore's office, projecting from the side of the castle. You can see it alongside the astronomy tower. The relative heights look quite nice. So with that sorted for now, I've moved on to some other bits and bobs. Replace those plain grey tiles with these stickered elements from the Great Hall set. Grab the troll as well, just to measure him up. These are those 4 statues of the founders I was talking about. Replace the beard on this one to represent Slytherin. That one's quite a good Hufflepuff. Pretty good Ravenclaw, and that's not a bad Gryffindor. Quite like them all together. They're going to be up there anyway, but do I display them with the portraits? I'm not sure. I don't think I like it. I think I might leave the portraits inside the school. So Ravenclaw. This kind of works. You can see the arches overlap. They don't look bad. They're in still pretty good position. Because they're hollow on the back, they actually pop right over these projecting studs and sit quite nicely in place. And I think that saves me redesigning Ravenclaw. Now obviously, because it does stick out at the side here, it won't actually go any further back. That's as far forward as it can go. But I've still got storage space for other modules behind, so I don't lose anything really. And you know, Ravenclaw's not really going to be moving around. The other one that I was going to have a problem with was Charms class. Similar sort of solve would be possible with Ravenclaw like this, but with the new Charms class coming out soon, I might wait and see what the format of that is, what bits and stickers and things we get in that. Worst comes to worst, I can do that change, put it down on this floor here, where I've got the 2 breakaway walls. Would mean Charms class would have to go in this centre spot. Yeah, we'll put that one down here where Transfiguration is now. Transfiguration will go across over here because it uses that wall. And History of Magic will be here because the blackboard wall is going to be on that side. So I think that's going to be a later problem. I might change it for now just so I can start getting modules transposed across, but I don't know if that's going to be its final form. So my last decision, I think for now, is how high I'm going to go. You can see with the astronomy tower in, we check from the basement. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories, and then of course the astronomy tower is the 8th. At the moment Ravenclaw's at 6, and I don't know if I go to 7 it'll sort of come level with the top of Dumbledore's office. Problem with going up to 7 all the way across, it does make the towers look a bit less towery. I might stop at 6 just to make the astronomy tower actually look like a tower rather than just a roof on a block. Could always go just back 2 modules deep rather than the full 3, just so the upper floor steps back a bit. Might give me a nicer look. That way, you know, the astronomy tower is a tall tower prominent at the front. I've got to go up to 6 here because that's where the top of the, obviously the room for requirements is, and we've got Ravenclaw up here. There is an option whereby I sort of step it back so it's only 2 modules deep, so only 16 studs deep instead of the 24. And then I could have modules at the top, I'll just show you with Fluffy, that are decorated on the outside to look like architecture, and they could sit in there, and I could possibly just use them as storage rather than display, so they would sit up here on these higher levels all stored away, looking like part of the structure of the building. Maybe put some nice windows up there or something, but then they are still modules that I can use. So that's the current state of play with Hogwarts at the moment. Got some decisions to make as to where some of the primary builds are going to be placed, where I'm going to have them. Charms is one I'm going to have to solve. I think now though I've got enough infrastructure in place, I can start translating some actual modules over onto these module plates. I've got enough of them at the moment. I can make a fairly good crack at filling the front of my Hogwarts. So that's what I'm going to spend some time doing next week. There is the possibility of a live stream on Saturday afternoon. I may well be transporting some of those modules across live, so keep an eye out for that if you'd like to join me and watch that process. as I'm going to be doing it anyway, might as well put a camera up and let you see the process. So if you've got any thoughts on the statues with their portraits on, or on how we should configure the top of the castle, do you like Dumbledore's office hanging off the side? If you've got any thoughts on the build in general, any modules you'd like to see that you don't think I've thought of yet or I haven't mentioned, do please let me know in the comments below. It's always good to hear your thoughts and know how we should be carrying on. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave us a like, and for more Vlogwarts builds, please subscribe to Bricking It. Bye bye.